Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm reviewing Dior's new summer makeup collection. I ended up purchasing both of the palettes, so I'm going to have a full review as well as swatches and also my thoughts about this collection. I also do have the platinum Dior gift as well that I'm going to be showing you, so definitely be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. I'm almost going to hit the 10,000 subscriber mark. I'm so excited and I would really appreciate if you would help me get there, so be sure to subscribe. All right, let's get into today's review. Now, as you can see, they sent me a huge box. I only did purchase the two palettes, but they also included my birthday platinum gift, and I'm going to show you what I received. So we have the two palettes. And then with this order, I also included a cream apricot. This is a strengthening nail care cream. Years ago, I used to always purchase this, and I remember loving it so much for my nails. And I just figured I'd just go ahead and try it again, just because my cuticles really are in need of so much help. They've just been so dry, especially during the winter season. They definitely needed some attention, but it looks like so. And I remember loving this product so much. Usually at nighttime, I would just apply just a little bit. So you would just pick up a very small amount and just apply it to your cuticles and just massage it in. And I remember my cuticles were always so well nourished. My nails felt very nice and healthy. So I figured I'd just go ahead and purchase this with my order again. I just wanted to try it out to see if I still will love it as much as I used to. It is pricey, but it's definitely a good product and it lasts a really long time. As you saw, I just took a small amount and just applied it to my nails, so you don't really need that much at all. So I did purchase one of those. I will show you the birthday gift in a moment, but I really want to show you these palettes. All right, so this is the lilac shade. I keep calling it the lilac shade, but this is actually called Pastel Glow. And it's gorgeous, and I think really the highlight of this entire palette is this lilac shade. It seems that the lilac shade is the color of the season. Most luxury brands have released some form of a lilac shade within their collection. I know that Chanel is also going to be releasing a lilac type of eyeshadow, but it is just so pretty. I really love it. I think that this is a muted lilac shade. This is a pastel palette overall, but I think that you can create so many different looks. So it's not just a pastel palette per se. There are some brown shades in here that you can easily incorporate into your everyday type of look, and then you have a pop of color. I love palettes like this. I think that you can utilize palettes that include these type of universal shades as well as a pop of color much more. So here's a close-up of the palette. I will also include a video of the palette in natural lighting, and as you can see, the shades are very muted. The lilac as well as the one peach shade that we have in here are lovely. They all do have some sort of shimmer in them. One thing you'll notice is in the ad, the model is wearing a mint type of shade underneath her eye, and you would think that the middle shade was going to be a mint shade, and that's what I thought. Now there is a mint tinge to it, but it really looks more white to me than mint. Even the swatches, as you can see, it really does look more white than anything else. It just looks like a nice highlight, a traditional highlight that we've seen before. So it is unfortunate. I was hoping that we'd have a true mint shade. I think that it would have looked lovely in this palette, given that it is an overall pastel type of palette, but I'm not sure why they didn't include a true mint shade. Next palette is Coral Flame, and this is gorgeous. I think the model sold me on this palette. Just the way they had the model wear this eyeshadow palette looked absolutely gorgeous, especially being on the beach. It definitely is a beach worthy type of palette. It's beautiful. The middle shade is an obvious peach shade. It is really beautiful. All of these shades do have shimmer in them again. And then we have the shade here in the corner. Now this one is also a peach, but it does have a little bit of gold specks in there. Such a gorgeous shade. I think these two are just the highlight of this entire palette. And then we have this gold shade that is also perfect for the summer season. It's more of a yellow type of shade, more so than gold. And here's a close-up of the Coral Flame palette. Again, such a versatile palette. This palette is gorgeous. I really love the peach shades in here, and I just love the overall look to this palette. I think it's going to create such a beautiful look. Before I get into the application of the eyeshadows, I do want to show you what Dior sent me for my birthday gift. Now, being part of the loyalty program every year, Dior will send you a birthday gift. Now, I am at platinum status, and this is the platinum gift. And actually was hoping for last year's gift, which was a hairspray, the Miss Dior hairspray, as well as a brush. But this year, they do have a stationery set, and I do like the fact that they change the gifts every year, because of course, if they continue to keep the same gifts, then those of us that remain in the same status, then you will just receive the same gift over and over again. So it is nice that they keep changing it. So this year, for the platinum gift, you will receive a stationery set. Now this has Christian Dior around the world. And Dior just creates some of the most beautiful artwork. You do see some animals on here. So there's an elephant there, and you have a tiger, and just a map of the world. This is just exquisite. It's so lovely. And then inside, looks like there is a notebook. I personally do love notebooks. So it looks like so. And then we have the same type of artwork. This is really special. I really do love these gifts. I think that this is what really Dior does very well, is they have this really amazing loyalty program, and the gifts are just so amazing. And then we have a pencil set, also with a Dior engraving up the top, and all of these are sharpened. This is honestly so lovely. Thank you, Dior, for this beautiful birthday gift. I was going to do two separate looks, one eye each, but I think I will just go ahead and do a full look and then do another video reviewing the next palette. I just feel like they're both so beautiful, and I do want to create a full look using them. Now, since this was my first choice, the one with the lilac shade, I think I'm going to go ahead and do a full look using that, and then I will do a separate video doing this peach palette here. So I'm going to show you how you can use this palette to just create a normal everyday type of look. And then if you want to add a pop of color, I'm going to show you how to do that as well. First, I'm going into the shade. This is a peach brown shade. Apply this all over. So next, I'm going to pick up this darker shade, and I'm using a flat brush to pick this up. I'm going to apply this to the outer corner. Next, I'm picking up this smaller brush and just picking up more of that brown shade and extending it downwards. This is a very pretty type of metallic brown shade. Now I want to add a bit of a highlight, so I'm going to pick up the shade here, and I'm putting this just to the inner corner. Just like so. This is going to bring some light to the inner corner. Now again, with the fluffy brush I used initially, just going back in and blending all of those shades together. So that would honestly be the first look. I think all of these shades are so wearable. As you can see, not a lot of color, just very traditional type of brown shades. You can add a liner, just a winged liner, and then some mascara, And there's look number 1. For the second look, I'm going to add this lilac shade. So I'm going to use the fluffy brush. I'm going to pick up this lilac shade. And I'm going to add this all over my eyelid. I feel like this shade is not as pigmented, so you can really just apply it all over. And you can see that little bit of brown popping out right underneath. Just looks so stunning. It mutes down the look overall. Now I'm going to pick up this lighter shade. Now I really was hoping that this shade would be more of a mint shade, but let me swatch this right on camera. As you can see, no mint at all. It's just, it basically looks white to me, but I'm just gonna go ahead and attempt to put this underneath, just like they did with the model, but it really looks like it's a mint shade on her. See, it's just white, honestly. So I'm just going to pick this up and apply this to the inner corner. And this is going to add a bit of a highlight. Before I add the lilac onto this eye, I just want to show you the difference. This is with the lilac shade and this is without. There's a finished eye look using the Pastel Glow palette. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Do you think this palette is a pass? I think it looks lovely with an eyeliner and mascara. It's just such a pretty palette. I especially love that lilac shade. I definitely feel like this shade is the color of the season, and it is for a reason. It just looks so flattering on the eyes. So pretty. Now I wish I did have the lilac blush, but again, it's not released in the US yet. Once it's released, I definitely will be getting that. But for blush, I am going to apply just this bronzer here. This one is in shade 32 Pink Bronze. And honestly, as I mentioned in my review, I don't think you need all of these. So don't be fooled by the fact that one is more pink and the other one is more coral. Just go with the bronzer shade that you prefer. I'm loving this bronzer. I think it is the perfect bronzer for the summer season. And more than a bronzer, I've just been applying it as if it's a blush. And it leaves the most beautiful glow. I'm going to use a little bit of the Glow Maximizer in shade Pink. I'm going to use this right on top of the bronzer. I found that these also look lovely on top of blush. Just adds such a beautiful glow to the skin. You don't need a lot. Since the lip products that came out with the summer season are not released yet, I do want the lilac shades, but I am going to apply the shade here. This is also by Dior, and this is the Rouge Dior Ultra Care Liquid Lipstick in shade 483. This kind of has a pink lilac type of shade to it. And I am just going to apply this today. These lipsticks are so creamy. And here's the full look using the new Pastel Glow palette. I think it is such a beautiful palette, very versatile. You can use it in so many different ways. I do want to do some comparisons to other palettes that I have in my collection that might look similar to this one. First, I want to compare the L'Atelier Mauve palette. This is a most recent limited edition palette by Dior to the Pastel Glow. And the main reason is that both of them have a purple lilac type of shade, and I'm sure you are wondering whether or not these do compare to each other. And I do think that they do. I do have swatches right here. So this here is the new Pastel Glow palette by Dior. And this here is the L'Atelier Mauve. And as you can see, there are lilac shades in here, but they do look very different than what you see in the Pastel Glow. And then of course there are 2 brown-like shades in the Pastel Glow. So very different type of palettes. And then the next comparison here, I have the Chanel palette swatch, palette number 68 by Chanel. Also a similar type of palette, yet different. It's similar in the sense that this also has a purple lilac shade. Now this here is the Chanel palette. And then as you can see, very different. The Pastel Glow palette again is right here. And you can see the purple lilac shade, very different. The Pastel Glow, the lilac is a true lilac. And then in the Chanel palette, you can see it's more purple than lilac. And then as for the gold, in comparison to the gold in the new Dior palette, let me just re-swatch this one here so you can see it better. I do have the gold shade from the new Dior palette swatched right here. And this is the Chanel one. They are very different. The Dior shade is very muted, so you can hardly even see it. And they're more of highlight shades really, but as you can see, they are all very different shades. So that's the Pastel Glow palette. I do think it is gorgeous. I'm so glad I purchased this one. This is limited edition, and these palettes do retail for $70. That's another thing. They do have another price increase for the Dior palettes, which is unfortunate. I feel like they just keep going up. I don't know when it's going to end, but hopefully it does end at that, because I feel like more than $70 is just going to be way too much. $70 is very steep for them. Even though they are lovely, they blend so beautifully. Dior really does have gorgeous shades, but $70 is quite steep. I know they are limited edition, but there are other brands out there that also have quality products for the fraction of the price. Let me know what your thoughts are about this collection down below in the comments. So are you guys excited for this collection? Is there anything that you are going to be purchasing, or do you feel that this collection is an overall pass for you? Let me know in the comments below. I am curious to know what you think about this collection. I'm also curious to know what your thoughts are on the price increase. I think that it is becoming ridiculous. $70 for a palette is quite steep. Chanel is doing the same thing. I would not be surprised to see their next palette going up to $90, but it is a lot for an eyeshadow palette, and I feel like we do need to be more selective as to what we purchase. And overall, this is why I have this channel, so that you can really choose what you think will work for you and what you will really use, because you do not want to purchase this and just leave it in the drawer somewhere. You do want to use it and utilize it to its full potential, because they are expensive. And that is it for my review today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and hit that notification bell to get notified when I upload new videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video.